quality in-laws. I am comic actor M.D. Catie with my brilliant sister-in-law Melissa, who happens to be a guidance counselor. And yes, also my guidance counselor. We break down what 90 Day Fiance reveals about love, culture, family, and some questionable life choices. Today, we are going to break down the couples of 90 Day Fiance Season 12, Episode 12, which is entitled, So Help Me God. Now, without further ado, the champion of the world, the best guidance counselor in the world, here she is, Melissa. Melissa, I have a question.
Okay.
I would like to know how much money you have in your bank account. Shout out to Rod. He doesn't hold anything back.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, let's just say I have just enough to look like a $5 whore on my wedding day.
Oh, that's nice. Well, is it during the day or really later at night during the wedding night? Anyway,
right. Well.
How have you been? A lot of things going on.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. So, yeah, I'm podcasting from your wife's childhood bedroom.
I see that. It's pretty wild seeing you there. But I have to tell you, since we want to get into it really quick here, because I've been chomping at the bit to talk about this young man who came from the pyramids of Egypt just to torture someone here in New Orleans.
That's what it seems to be, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
It seems like he quite gets off on torturing her.
Oh, yes, he does. I wanted to know your opinion. I have my opinions. And my first opinion was to call the cops and he should be locked up for some sort of abuse. I thought that was awful. There's no words to explain it. There's no words that I have compassion for. I can't even give you I could break down almost anything. I cannot break down what he did there.
Yeah. So what happens is we join them and she is in the street crying exactly where we left her.
Yeah.
He comes out, but he looks really happy in some weird way.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a wedding ring.
With the price tag still on it, by the way.
Oh, that's a good detail.
Yeah.
So, where do you think he bought the ring?
Probably at a 5 and dime around the corner from where they were.
Like some Egyptian shook market or something.
Yeah.
He bargained. But he kept the price tag on, but he really got at a cheaper price because he put it in the market.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So then he decides it's a really good time to surprise her and propose.
Well,
So,
she's on the ground on a sidewalk sobbing with her back to him. And it seems like he doesn't have a care in the world that she's going through this.
He thinks it's a great time. In fact, he says
he's having a great time.
I'm carrying the ring until I catch a good time.
Until I catch a good time.
She surprised me. I should surprise her.
Yeah. And then he goes up and hugs her and she's like, don't. Then he backs off. And then he takes the ring out of his man purse or whatever you want to call it. And he puts it on the ground.
Yes.
Then he goes up to her and hugs her. And she's like, no. And she's so traumatized.
She is, but it's as though, I don't say she doesn't care that this is the way the proposal is. I'm sure she's annoyed, but she accepts it. So it's like they're setting up this precedent for their relationship that he just breaks her and then surprises her. Because we saw that earlier, obviously, when he came over to America without telling her that he got on the plane and said his father was ill. And, we haven't heard about that since then. So he's making these lies up and
he is.
And breaking her down and then showering her with a little bit of affection. And that's
a very little bit.
Right. And that is That's a great way to start a marriage.
Which
What
is
could go wrong?
which is called in relationship land breadcrumbing. But he's
Oh, hello. Isn't that like a recent term?
I don't know how recent it is, but I think
Oh.
it's actually a very powerful word to use in today's relationships. You know, people just leave little breadcrumbs just to keep you enticed, just to keep you excited about the prospect of the potential of the relationship while they're figuring out their own shit. But Mido's so dark, I think he's breadcrumbing in a very abusive way.
Yeah, he's not only breadcrumbing, he is just just destroying her and then throwing the
Destroying
breadcrumb.
her.
It's
You
one
know,
thing to throw the breadcrumb, but he's like, let me break you down and then throw you the crumb.
well, when I joined the army, any type of military, you go into basic training, they break you. That's what that's the design. They break you so they can mold you into what they want. And I think that's what Mido is doing here. He, I, maybe I'm wrong. I think maybe you can correct me. Maybe he's just being himself, his cruel self, because that's what he is. He's a very cruel human being. And I wish, when he proposed, she said, "You know what? No," but she's locked in. He broke her.
For the first time, I really could see their relationship. Like it all made sense. It's twisted. It seems very twisted.
It's twisted,
but it made sense. This is the dynamic. This is their pattern. And he is controlling her.
Oh, absolutely. I was reading somewhere online that they're trauma bonded, but he's not going through any trauma.
Right.
See, I disagreed with that statement
Right.
that someone said. She's going through all the trauma. So her trauma is tied to him. And that's where the breadcrumbing comes along. He validates her a little bit here and there, and that's it. And then she's hooked as soon as she sees the ring with the price tag on it.
Right. I do beg to differ. I do think his trauma is that he got to America and he saw how far she lived from LA.
But you know what? Yes, that's a comical way. That's a comical way to put it, because that's really not trauma.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know. But I hear what you're saying.
Here,
it's funny, huh? What?
Oh, I try to make a joke here, Cappy.
It landed fairly well. I'll give you that.
Tough crowd. But it was shocking when he pulled out that ring. It was so inappropriately timed that it was shocking. It was one of the craziest things, right? One of the craziest things I have seen on the show.
Well, did you catch when he turned around, put the ring on the ground? He turned to the producers, the camera crew, and he's smiling at them.
Yeah, he thinks this is a great idea.
He thinks it's a great idea, and she just turns around. I gotcha.
Yeah.
This is not a Abbott and Costello routine, buddy.
And then he says in his interview, like, I think before we meet each other, we were missing something in our lives. Yeah. I think I complete her and she completes me.
Oh, what was the first reaction you had?
Well, I'm not even like a movie watcher, but I know that line. Like everyone knows that line.
Oh, I am. Can I reenact it for you? Do you mind?
For sure. Definitely.
Jerry Maguire, Renee Zellweger, and Tom Cruise, which he says he wants to be the next Tom Cruise. And it's a love story, and of course it has all the pratfalls, ups and downs, and finally at the end of the movie, he is tearfully saying to her, "You complete me." And before he can get the words out, Renee Zellweger's character says, "Just shut up. You had me at hello." But I think that was his way of trying to, hey, I could be just like Tom Cruise. She completes me. Well, I saw right through it.
Yeah. I think he was probably practicing and he was like, what can I say?
Yeah.
I'll make you an offer I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Maybe that one.
Yeah, I'm going to give you this $2.95 ring, and that way we can complete each other.
Okay, so they're going to get married.
It did. They're going to get married. But you know how I love to look at people's eyes when the camera. It's film. I think it's filmed pretty brilliantly. When they were embracing and she accepted. Well, first of all, he said, "Can you marry me?" And she goes, "I think I'll think about it." And they're embracing. The camera is focused on Debbie's face and her eyes. She just looks so traumatized still. She got what she wanted, but she has to know it's not over. This behavior is not going to continue. It's not going to stop, I should say.
Right. I don't think she's thinking about it in that way.
No, she's not. She's living in the moment of validation. I have a lot of Cappy's Corners lines this evening.
Okay.
Just to forewarn you, Melissa.
Shall we move out of this crazy
yes, please,
sadomasochistic dungeon?
I'm going to ask you, have mercy. Have mercy on me, please.
Let's go to, how about Mallory and Rashid?
Oh, boy.
So she is picking out her wedding dress.
Yep.
What did you think of the two dresses?
I like the second dress better. I like the flowery print. I did not like the beaded sleeve, that beaded thing. The first dress I thought was beautiful. I thought they were both very nice.
Yeah.
I like the combination of the two if they could customize it.
My
answers are never simple. But
well,
I love
not much. Yeah.
What? I just love the sweatshirt that she wore. It said anti-social butterfly. I would like to get that for my wife.
That spoke to you, huh?
It did.
I'm not much of a dress aficionado, but I don't know. I fancy the first one, but I think she looked great in both of them. And she loves the second one. And so that was nice. She mentioned it's hard to find a wedding dress in her size.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing to have on the discussion, right? Because I think a lot of people probably feel like that.
Absolutely. Sure.
Then we get into it. Then we get into what's really the situation here, which is when she tells her friends that at first she really says she has something she needs to share with Rashid, and it could be a deal breaker. And they're like, what could it be?
Yeah.
Like you guys aren't, I took it like you guys don't seem like unfaithful people.
Right.
What's going on here? And she says that she's not sure if she ever wants to have kids.
Yeah.
And Michaela's like, are you serious? Like he would have them right now. And it seems to me that he must be talking about kids constantly, that even Michaela and Catie understand this about him.
Absolutely. But it brings me to another topic that I'd like to bring up, if you don't mind. When two people meet and, you have what I call is a list of things that you want in a person. Even in my youth, having children was not on the list. You're picking a person to be with that person. You're not picking a person in the boxes. It would be, oh, I want to be a parent with this person. I want to have a family with this person. So I was a little befuddled because he loves her. So obviously he was assuming that she wanted children all this time, and they've been together over 2 years. So, I mean, obviously I have questions why she hasn't brought this up earlier. I have my thoughts and theories why. But when you pick a partner, is it because, in regards to Rosh, did he look at Mallory like, oh, she's going to be a great baby mama?
Okay. Well, they met on a hookup. So,
yeah.
I mean, mostly he wanted to braid her hair. Look.
Yeah, I know. He wanted to braid her.
No, it is interesting. There's so many parts of what you said. There's a lot of layers to what you said. I think oftentimes when folks meet in their 20s, there's a lot of sexual chemistry and energy, and
Yeah.
whether or not that translates into long-term, over the course of 50, many, many years, life partner plus, mother or father of your children might not be at the forefront of your mind. However, I think in a lot of the world it is. And I think
Yeah.
where Rosh comes from, it is, just,
Yeah.
uh, I think of it, like in China, for example, people always would ask me, they wouldn't say like, are you married or do you have kids? They say, are you married yet? Do you have kids yet? It's a given. You get
Okay.
married for kids.
Okay. To
And
procreate.
right. It's not just to have a partner in that way. It just, the family unit is the
Yeah.
main unit. It's a much less individualistic society outside of America, generally speaking, and the main unit isn't the individual; it's the family.
It's the
And
family.
so, in
Yeah.
his mind, the conversation wasn't had. I think because in his mind, there is no scenario in which she wouldn't want to have kids. This is
Yeah.
completely shocking to him. And I
It
think
is.
for her, she didn't want to have the conversation because she knows where he's coming from. And like she even said, it's selfish not to have told him before he got
Yeah.
to America. She
She
knows
admitted it.
this,
Yeah.
but she didn't want to lose him. And it's not fair to him, of course. But sometimes we do these things that are selfish. And
W-
this is, yeah.
Yes. So I always look at the motivation behind how people behave in relationships. I love to delve into that, right?
Mhm.
So I started asking myself, looking at Mallory and given what I know about her so far, why has she not brought this up? So her father kicked her out at 18. He wasn't her when she got severely injured in the hospital, and she got emotional. So and she also admitted, I don't even know how to be a mom.
Mhm.
Um, so maybe it's I don't want to say it's a sabotage thing. I'm not sure, or maybe she's just petrified. Maybe she's petrified because, as she said, she fully admits, I have never seen a healthy marriage. I've never seen
Right.
a health. She hasn't seen it. So, I like her. I
Mhm.
think she has some really nice qualities. I don't know how that's going to be overcome because he obviously walked off the porch, and she wasn't even looking like a $5 hooker at the time. Uh,
Look, I think another thing, I think also like there doesn't have to be childhood trauma or divorce or no role models for motherhood for a woman to not want to
yeah,
be a mother. A woman cannot want to be a mother and just have perfectly great role models, right? And,
absolutely.
and I
Yeah,
think that, again, this opens up a conversation about that for watchers, right? To see that for him, it's a given. Of course, she's going to want to be a mom. Of course,
yeah,
she's going to want to have kids. That's his number one aspiration is to have a family. But
yeah.
for her, it's just not. It's not. Now, it might actually change, but the
It
real
can.
question is, right? Can he marry someone hoping that she's going to change to give him the
Well,
one thing
yeah,
he wants in life? That's a really hard ask.
I understand that, but my point is, what did you just say? What he wants the most,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
What he wants the most should be her.
No, I disagree. What he wants the most is whatever he wants the most, right? Like
I
in
agree,
his
but
culture, like for him, he wants the family. And
yeah,
that
uh,
includes this great connection with somebody. But
mm,
no, I think I understand like where he comes from. Like he doesn't just want a spouse and no kids. It's just not what he wants. And that's
no,
okay.
yeah. I mean, listen, it's okay for her not to want to have kids for
Yeah.
whatever reason. It's
Yeah.
absolutely okay. Um, I happen to think my opinion is I think they get through it.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think they
yeah,
get
I do.
through it. It's a hard thing to get through because it's one of those things where if you compromise on it, then someone's going to be a mother who's not wanting to be a mother, potentially, or
Yeah.
someone's not going to have kids who really wants to have a family. And
Yeah.
that's the biggest conversation. That's why matchmakers are great, or like arranged marriages are great because these big things are taken care of up front.
They're
I know
up
it
front.
sounds
Yeah.
crazy, but
No, it's
that's
not
what I
crazy.
think.
That's what happens.
So when she goes to talk to him,
Yeah.
she tries to make him some chai,
Yeah.
but doesn't
Yeah.
do a great job with it.
No, he's like, nah, it's not so good. And she's
I
like,
th-
I'm learning. I'm learning.
I think that if she made better tea, maybe he would have taken the news better.
Maybe. Or if there
Maybe.
wasn't dog hair in the tea.
Yeah, you got to wash your hands after touching the dogs.
Yeah, I
So
know.
then they go out onto the porch, Southern style, and the dogs are left in the house.
I know, barking away.
And he sees her right away and is like, "Why your face look like toilet right now?"
Oh my God. That might be the funniest line because Jen and I are going to institute that into our own little language from now
Yeah,
on.
as you should.
Oh, I think everyone should. Everyone should implement that into their life. Hysterical.
So, it's funny, not funny, but after she tells him, he's like, "Why do you have to think that things are bad? Like every time you
Yeah.
think the worst,
Right.
And she says, "I don't think it's bad. I think it's realistic."
Yeah.
And she, expresses what she went through as a kid.
Mhm.
What do you think? Do you think it's realistic? Do you think she's being realistic or do you think it's bad?
My personal belief is I think she's so traumatized and damaged from her childhood. I think this is her reality right now. I think if she gets um you want to say therapy, I don't know. Take time, build the relationship with Rosh, and I do think things might change in the future. I don't know. Um I do think she needs to address the underlying reason. I think
Yeah.
because that's my opinion, and it's my opinion. She may not want children. Maybe that's her desire for the rest of her life. That's okay. But I think she truly loves this guy. I think she will get the right treatment. And what I mean by that is not just, go into a facility or anything. I mean, just get the right therapy and address the trauma and of what she's been through. And then she can move on with her life. And that may include not having kids.
Hmm. Maybe Brandon will broker like some kind of agreement between them.
Hey, he stuck up for him last week with
That's
the
right.
prenup.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Well, yeah. So we end here, and Rosh is like, very bullshit. Very
very bullshit.
bullshit.
And he
And
also said when he was by
mhm,
himself, he said, "If she told me this in Turkey, I would have not have come to America. I would have
right,
not have done this. No,
right. And then he walks back to his happy face shed.
yeah." And he made that little table out of yeah. I mean, I don't know if it would be dad approved that table, but not bad.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Was my dad there when we were watching this earlier? I
He
can't even
was.
remember.
I watched. I looked over at your dad a couple times, and
Yeah.
he was just shaking his head.
Why? Why?
I think he
Why
was
do
just
they
shaking
watch
his
this?
head like, you know, you three people, his wife, daughter, and his new son-in-law are watching this program, and I think he's thinking to himself, these people need to get a life.
I think he's thinking, how many more minutes until I can put Law and Order back on?
Yeah, exactly. Or I could or if I could put Gold Rush on the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
There's a
Uh-huh.
quality. That's quality programming.
That's
So,
quality programming.
his very bullshit line, and what you pointed out also about I wouldn't have come here if this was the situation,
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of Edward in his segment.
Yeah.
So let's go to New York.
Oh boy,
Oh boy.
oh boy. And I'm just going to preface this by saying I've been always in support of Marissa this whole time, as our listeners and But I think she's going down a slippery slope here. And
Well, yeah, we start
this,
out. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead. No,
No, I'm
you go
sorry.
ahead, please.
We start out and she is going for her final dress fitting. Once again, okay, we have a woman in a wedding dress, looking amazing, saying, I don't know if I'm going to do this.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is going to happen.
the wedding can happen or not.
75% sure.
75%. And you haven't said it, but I believe in Dorothy, quote, Marissa's work wife.
Mm-hmm.
She says 75% to me is nothing, is zero.
Right.
Unless you're all in, you're in. And I do agree with her to 99% of me believes in that. Yes. I think everyone gets cold feet a little bit before a wedding because it's such a monumental decision. But I do like Dorothy's take on it. And it's not Sheila, it's Shayla,
right,
who you could see is really. She says she's worried, but she really
Mhm.
doesn't want Marissa to marry this guy.
Oh, totally.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, no.
Well, she says, you made the right decision for this dress.
For this dress, yes.
So that's a great line.
Great line.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then this is where Marissa upset me.
Mhm.
She says, well, what am I going to marry him? For his money? Ha, 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 ha. I didn't think that was very nice. I actually thought it was a little mean-spirited because everyone knows he doesn't have money. And I thought she kind of made a joke out of it. I thought I really did. I didn't find that funny. I didn't find it humorous. And then obviously she says, and someone said sex. Oh, that's number two. I'm going to repeat myself. I've been a big Marissa supporter, but I did not like those comments. I thought they were very degrading to Edward. And I know she's struggling. I know she's struggling.
They were funny though. They were funny.
They were funny. I didn't laugh.
Not nice.
I didn't laugh for a couple seconds after I realized that she said it. It was she thought it was in jest, but I didn't really think it was in jest. There's a lot of truth in comedy. There's another Cappyism there.
There you go. There is a lot of truth in comedy. Sure.
Yes, there is.
Absolutely. They mentioned also, I think it was Dorothy who was like, it's your second marriage.
Yeah.
So if it's not feeling right to you, then don't do it. Don't get married. What are your thoughts about marrying again after the first marriage doesn't work out?
Well, obviously, I've just did it.
Yeah,
recently.
You've been married 300 times.
301 to be exact. Listen, every week I come in here and I talk about so many things about relationships, but I talk about two things: the 3 C's and knowing yourself. So communication, 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 know who you are, and you have to have a list and you have to follow that list. And if there's 10 things on that list, that person you want to spend your life with has to check 4 or 5 of them. Okay. I don't know Marissa's list. I don't know. I don't know where she's going. I mean, to look at her, she wants out.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, she wants out. She wants out. I think for all the wrong reasons. I think for all the wrong reasons. I think Edward is absolutely perfect for her. But I want to talk to you about something, especially about everyday relationships. May I have a small Cappy's corner? May you divulge me, please, for a moment.
Permission granted.
Thank you, Sensei. She wants to take this 4 or 5 days. She needs space. She needs space. And I'm going to tell you something. When someone you're dating says they need space, it's usually to decide if this is for me or not. And the first day or the second day, I forgot which day, she goes, I was so busy. I didn't text him. And then he texted me. And that struck a nerve with me because I don't care who the hell you are. You could be the president of the United States. It takes 5 seconds to send someone a text message. It takes 2 minutes to call someone. So when I heard that, she was so busy. She was so busy. And then he wrote a snarky text message at the end of the evening. Have a good evening. It did not sit well with me because as you know, we all have these little devices. And if I went to text you right now, it would take me maybe 3 or 4 seconds.
Well, you're a boomer, so maybe a little longer.
Yeah, I'm a boomer. Well, I'm trying to graduate to Gen X. Actually, I'm almost to Gen X. I'm 2
You're
weeks
on the
away.
cusp. Yeah,
I'm on the cusp. If I texted you right now, it would take me 3 or 4 seconds. So you're saying you're that busy. That busy. I'm getting wound up here. I'm sorry. I'm raising my voice, but you're that busy. You can't. This man uprooted his life. He came to America to be with you, to help raise 2 boys, and you don't have 5 seconds to text him. Hey, I've been really busy today. I hope you're having a good day. It doesn't say, I want to stay with you or nothing. It could be totally benign. Just say it. Just fucking send the text message, Marissa. I'm just thinking about you. Hope you're okay.
I'm not minimizing your feelings, Cappy, but I love
But you're
when you
about
get
to. But you're about to.
I love when you get riled up.
Well,
I love when the veins are popping in your head. I want to.
Yes.
I want you to watch.
What? You want me to what?
I want you to watch the show with a blood pressure machine attached.
No, my blood pressure's off the roof. Because you know what? I really care for Marissa.
I know
really
you do.
I really do. I really think she's a very kind-hearted person. I just think she's going through a lot, and a lot of people are at her. A lot of people are in her ears, okay? And she's not listening to herself or Edward and what she really wants.
Yeah, here's my take on a part of what you said, which is the text message part. It's interesting how when she's communicating that to her friends and her work wife, that she's saying, oh, you know how busy I am. I don't have time for this kind of thing. I need to be I need this time in New York to myself and have time to myself. And I kind of understand that. But the way also she presents it, it sounds like I'm so busy in a way that my life is so busy and his life is kind of just hanging out, And later on, she sort of reiterates that. Like, that's her story. Her story is, I'm so busy. So when they do later meet up, and she says to him something like, if you're pulling me away from my work and my own time here in New York, right? And from work and from my life, and then it must be important. But
it must be important. And she was leading him down the path. I think at that moment, at that particular moment, Melissa, she was hoping because, oh, you bought me a latte, thank you. She gives him a little peck on the mouth.
Uh-huh.
And he says, I have to talk to you. And she said, oh, I'm a little nervous. So I think she wants him. She's trying to lead by her being cold. She's not hugging him. She's not kissing him like the vacation Marissa. I think she's trying to make him be the bad guy here. She's trying to say, I think if I'm looking at her correctly, I think she wants him to say, you know what, Marissa, this is not going to work.
Right.
Yeah. And so she doesn't look like the bad guy.
She's icing him out so that he'll break it off.
Yes.
Exactly. Or she's icing him out. Again, this subconsciously, right? This is just a pattern that she has, but icing him out so that it could be a dynamic that she's repeating in her life over and over again, almost like a test to him, not a conscious test, of course.
Right.
But, that kind of a pattern. But also, this idea that if you're pulling me away from my time here, my important life, right? Like it's got to be important. It almost
Yeah.
seems as though she's saying, this better be important because you're taking me away from my busy life. It could be read
Yeah.
two ways there,
It could be
which
read two
minimizes
ways.
his part in all of this.
All right, so I'm
Mhm.
gonna put you on the hot seat.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, you're a guidance counselor. You're a very important, busy person. Okay,
Mhm.
your partner Mark, who's a wonderful man, you're gonna tell me, out of your busy life in an everyday thing, you wouldn't have five if you knew he was having an issue of any kind. You wouldn't be able to text him.
I'll come back to that. But I
Oh,
think
we'll come
also
back to it.
we'll come
Okay.
back. No, hang on, hang on. There's context here. The
Uh-huh.
context here is it seems very clear that she said to him, look, I need some time to get away from this, think about it, do my work. So I could imagine if I were in a relationship and I'm like, things are wonky, I need some time, going to go to New York, whatever, see my family, do my work, like right now I'm in New York. All right.
Yeah.
So no, I don't feel that that's necessarily the right time to be texting constantly.
No, I didn't
Honestly,
say. No,
not that I'm defending
I
her,
didn't say
right?
constantly.
But I
One
don't think
text message.
dude, this is not about the text message, right? Like it's not that. It's that she's icy. It's not the
She's icy.
message. It's, she didn't hug him. She's pulling away. He
Yeah.
feels it. And he's like, what the fuck? This is
Yeah.
very bullshit, right? The
This
very
is very
bullshit.
bullshit. Yeah.
Like, I came all the way here. You're icing me out. I'm in Pennsylvania. You're in New York. You're not even responding to me. I'm just home playing with the trash can, building
Yeah,
a
I know.
fence,
At
right?
a
Like
crown molding.
you're
Yeah.
yelling at me all the time. The neighbors call me Edwin, like
Yeah.
what the fuck? I need a little affection here, Send me an
Which I
emoji.
give him credit. He says, I tell her what I need. I need a little more affection. This is what he wants in a relationship. People have their wants and needs in relationships. And I give him a little credit. He stood up for himself.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
and in a night and he brought coffee.
And he brought her a latte,
Not
which
ham, not
eh,
ham chai.
not ham chai. And let me ask you a question. When they first saw each other and she kissed him, oh, you bought me a latte. Thank you so much. It seemed a little phony to me
Mm-hmm.
because she knows she's really teetering on leaving this guy. So she seemed happy. She kissed him. She's icing him out. Just tell him. Just tell him, I'm icing you out because I'm feeling this way. I'm really thinking of leaving this situation.
Yeah, I think that in an ideal world, we know exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it in real time, and we
Right.
can communicate that skillfully. But
Yeah.
that's just
And
not
listen,
always not the case here.
no, and I'm still learning. I think we all are learning how to conduct ourselves in relationships from time to time because they evolve. They
Yeah.
evolve. People change. People's wants and needs change. Their desires change. Whatever. But that's a Cappy's corner for a later time.
And we end just like with Rashid. He says, if you say that to me before, I'm not going to be in this process.
Yes, I'm not going to be in that process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Now that I need to take I need to take a sip of my Diet Pepsi, and we can move on.
I do have a theory, though. In any of these reality TV shows, it's like once the woman puts on the dress, she just wants to get married.
You do. That's an interesting. That's interesting. I think that it's set up that way by the producers. That's you as a woman, you would know better than I.
No. I'm just an observer. Like
Yeah.
I've never, not as a woman. I mean, I've.
Well, what's wild?
That's not me.
Well, what's
That's why I won't put on a wedding dress.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you
Not
why.
even for fun. I might end up married. No, I just think that's what I see. Calling balls and strikes. Calling balls and strikes here.
You got it. blue, as they call it in baseball. It is interesting that you have all these doubts, but you're putting on a wedding dress. So you bring up a good point. By the way, I don't like Marissa's dress.
Oh
Anyway,
no, I liked
no,
it actually.
I don't like it.
And I'm not a dress aficionado, but
Yeah, either
I
am
thought she looked
I.
really good in it. And I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Eh,
I thought it was cool. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
To each
But
their own.
listen, I don't work at Kleinfeld's. I'm not a dress protege, so I don't know. All right.
Okay.
Can we bring my blood pressure down finally, please?
Yeah, sure. Let's
Until
go
the
to
next
Catie and
couple.
Josh.
Oh, my blood pressure just spiked.
So, we start out with these folks, right? And they are doing their cake consultation, right? In their wedding planning.
Yeah.
And they invite, Catie's parents to come along. And I did think of you and my sister and my parents, because I know you invited my parents also for your
And
cake
we had the greatest
consultation.
time.
Yeah.
The cake consultation, we went to the bridal expo at the venue. We had the greatest time. We really did.
You didn't bicker at all? Like these
No,
guys?
there was no bickering. There was no bickering. There was no talking about converting religions. There was no, you have to accept the Lord as your savior to go to heaven. No, there was none of that.
Oh my God, that
None
would
of that.
freak me out. Okay, but we'll
That would have
build up
freaked
to
me
that.
out. Yeah,
Catie had some great lines too.
she did.
She said some things like, "I'm not going to be a bridezilla, but I'll probably be a zilla like I am in
Azilla.
my regular life."
Yeah. Believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Catie also said, "I'm
Uh-huh.
not going to be bad. I'm just going to be a regular amount of bossy."
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Great lines, Catie.
Catie comes
So
out with some classic lines.
Catie skips the tea and the latte when she's trying to butter them up to get the answer she wants. And she goes right. She gives her parents cake. And then she asks, the big ask, can we have our wedding in your house?
And you saw their backyard. The backyard is very small.
Look, I was very surprised they said no. Even though
You
it's
were.
small. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's small, even though they might have to move the chickens, I would just
Yeah.
think they're going to get married soon. It's hard to get a venue.
Yeah.
They are incentivized to make this marriage happen, right? Like they want her to marry Josh. Say, okay, we'll just have to make it small.
I'm going to go on record right now and saying, I don't think they're going to get married.
Okay, possible.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm going to go on record
so.
and say they're getting married.
Okay.
Although she's not in the dress yet. Once she's in the dress, you'll see.
No. I think the funniest. There was a couple funny lines. Let's get to the grandparents after.
Okay.
When they were doing the Easter egg hunt, Josh says, Catie, you could be the organizer of the Easter egg hunt. I'm going to organize the therapy.
Perfect.
I mean, spot on.
Perfect.
Josh, you earned my respect on that one. And then she was just so hell-bent on catching this poor chicken. Leave the chicken alone.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Hilarious.
And his play-by-play of that was so great.
It was so great.
Oh my gosh, so funny. He's just like, oh, well, he was a little cheeky to start with. It's Easter Sunday. He prepared his sausage rolls, right?
Yeah.
And then, he says, okay, we got over our argument because we did a little shagging in the evening. And so the rest of the day, rest of the day is going to be great.
I love that term, by the way. Shagging is so funny. I
think the love language of this cast, the season's cast, is definitely sex, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in the chicken coop and he's given the play-by-play and it is really, really hilarious because she's like, that kind of looks like a night out, right? You're chasing some innocent guy.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
I'll call that chicken Ryan.
She picks up little Ryan, gives him a squeeze. He takes pictures. What can go wrong? So they do the Easter egg hunt and it's quite aggressive for him.
Yeah.
And he's like, actually, that's where he comes up with that therapy line, which is great.
Yeah, great line.
Yeah.
We're not talking about also when they're sitting there at the cake tasting, and
Uh-huh.
she says, "Oh, I got my phone. You know, your belongings are on their way."
Yeah.
And he got quite upset about that. You know,
Yeah.
it's my it's all my things. And she's like,
And
"No,
he's
I texted you." She really dismissed him. I thought she was very dismissive
totally
over that.
dismissive.
Yeah.
And then she has this way of, when she argues with him, just doubling down on the dismissiveness.
Oh
That
yeah.
drives me nuts. That would drive me so crazy. Because
Oh
it's one
yeah.
thing to be dismissive and then just let it go, but then she'll double down. So, for example, she's like, "Oh yeah, I told you I was on my run. I said that
Yeah.
there was something I had to tell you, but then you never asked me about it, and
Yeah.
so I never said anything."
Yeah.
But no, she should have told him. Like, she doesn't have to wait for him to say the thing
And
or
then
to
when
ask about it.
and then he very nicely excused himself, and she like you said, she doubled down. She goes, "Well, I texted you, you didn't answer." Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Disrespectful to
yeah.
me.
So maybe his stuff will arrive in Portland when they're not there. And he's a kind of an organized guy. That's going to look, I know what it's like to wait for your stuff to arrive.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
it's stuck in customs, and you're like, come on, man. It finally gets
Uh-huh.
through.
Yeah.
And it is, it's an important thing. It's an
Sure.
important
It's
thing.
very important.
And he probably hasn't moved around like this a lot. So it's a big deal for
No.
him. Yeah.
I I really liked her grandparents.
Oh, you did?
Um in a comical way.
In a comical way. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the grandmother scared me a little bit.
Okay.
But when the producers asked the grandfather, you know, what do you think? Oh, Josh, Katie's very opinionated. And what do you think of Josh marrying Catie? And he just looks very deadpan and he says, lots of luck. He knows. He knows his granddaughter.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
But
so let's talk
yeah,
religion. Let's talk religion. It's Easter after all. And look, I think actually Josh handled a lot of this well. I
very
feel
well.
like
Yes.
Josh was like in crazy zone, but he
Yeah.
was still like dealing. It was really interesting. He's like fascinating. Like really, really interesting.
I thought it was very interesting because, you know, as I was raised Roman Catholic and
Mm,
I'm seeing different religions as I age.
mhm.
So I kind of identify with Josh a little bit like, you know, it's all the unknown. So he was like leaving the door open, but not. I thought he was being very diplomatic about it with her
Yes.
family. Very
Yes.
diplomatic. Um,
Yes. This is where that British diplomacy comes in.
yeah, absolutely. Um, but then the
So they
mother, yeah,
Yeah,
go
they
ahead.
ask him first, right? If he celebrated Easter growing up. And he's like, yeah,
Yes,
but it was more about the chocolate, less
it's about
about
the chocolate.
Jesus.
Yes,
And then he asks what it means to this family. And I thought that was really great way of dealing with it. He's clearly uncomfortable. Like,
yes,
he knows it's an important thing for this family. He's trying to understand it.
yeah,
He is agnostic. He's
yeah.
open,
He's
right?
open. Yeah.
Mom is so freaking blunt.
Oh,
I would like for your children to be baptized and raised in the church.
mhm.
The other interesting thing she says is like, religion gives people common morals,
Yeah.
which
Well,
I have thoughts about.
yeah. Well,
What
I'm
do you
sure
think?
there. I don't know if we have the same thoughts. I think we
Uh-huh.
do, especially when it comes to Catie.
Oh, okay. I think in general, like a lot of religious people will say this, like if you don't have a religion, where are you getting your morals from?
Yes.
As if
Yes.
as if you and I need to be the same religion in order to be grounded in some kind of common sense of decency.
Yeah.
And that's just counter to my experience living in this world.
Yeah.
Having friends of all different religions and me
Same. Same
myself
here.
learning about all different religions and practices. And I just think that's insane. I think it's
It is
very
insane.
egocentric in a way.
Yeah. And then Catie goes on to say, well, Mom, you said if he's a non-believer. He's going to go to hell, and then I'm going to go to heaven. So I don't even know what's going to happen. And the mother said, well, I don't know what God sees in his soul.
Yeah.
Well, if he has a good soul or bad soul, whatever. And then she lays out the big line, which I'm sure everyone has heard. You're not going to go to heaven unless you say, Lord is your savior. I don't know if I'm saying that properly.
Right. Like you have to accept Jesus Christ as your savior in order to go to heaven. The whole thing is to me, and I also can identify with like the agnosticism of like, we don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. And all of these, to me, like the religious practices that I've even adopted as someone who would say they're agnostic, it's like the practices can be very helpful in your life.
Yeah.
But whether you believe or not, to me, is not the crux of a religion. But it does seem to be with a lot of religious Christians, this believing thing, and then it's like in your soul, but you can't actually coerce someone into believing anything.
No.
Therefore, this to me is insane. Like he's sitting around listening to this completely insane rhetoric of like,
absolutely.
Are you really arguing over my soul right now?
Yeah,
like
in front of me. Yes,
fucking nuts. like it's crazy. Like, why don't we just argue about the magician and the rabbit in the hat, or why don't we argue about Smurfs or fairies?
Or if Garfield really loved lasagna as a cat.
There you go. That's insanely specific.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like he's sitting there trying to be respectful to this, but it's got to be like crazy land.
It reminded me of being in the service, and I'll tell you, I'm not particularly a religious person, but it was told to me many times in combat zones that, if you give up your life for your country, you have a one-way ticket to the golden halls of Valhalla. And at first I didn't know what it meant until I started educating myself. And it's this where all the warriors go. It's a part of heaven where all the warriors go. And I'm like, well, do I believe in heaven? Do I believe that? I don't know. It's the same kind of concept.
Look, and Josh, I can't speak for Josh, but I will. Why not?
Yes, we will. That's our job.
As an agnostic, it's like you don't know. Right.
You don't know.
Using the scientific method, we can't prove that heaven exists or doesn't exist. Like it might exist, it might not exist. The other interesting thing about Christianity and other religions as well, but this idea, to me, it's like a preoccupation with the afterlife and not with your daily life and what you're doing in your daily life. Like in her daily life, she's actually hurting Josh again and again every time she has a drink. And yet she's like, but my soul is probably going to go to heaven. And this preoccupation with the afterlife, in a way that it probably is insignificant to him, because he's like, I don't even know if that exists. So here we are with God. Let's maybe transition to another God situation with Aisha and Maxwell. So we add to our cast members here with Aisha and Maxwell. We have coming in with Rod, the god brother. We have Jokala, the oldest sister. We have Glenna, the middle sister. Catie, which is Mom's friend. And of course, Mom, Juliet, all coming to town. Oh, and I see you have Emma. Hey, Emma.
There's Emma. She's making a cameo.
Aw, hey, little one.
There's little one. There's my
cutest one-eared dachshund I've ever seen.
Oh, she is the cutest dachshund. Say hello, Emma.
Aw,
say hello.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, sweetheart. I love you.
Aw.
I love you.
So we start out, she's calling her prophetess. They're praying. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, Cappy. I got nothing on that. And then
Wait,
it's hilarious.
Did you get to the phone call where the call dropped and she said, "Oh, that's the devil's doing"? So the devil.
I didn't understand that. What was happening there?
So I guess the devil is in charge of AT&T or T-Mobile. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, the devil's in my phone right now, I'll tell you that. At least it doesn't come into our podcast right now.
No.
Please, devil, no. So, yeah, it's pretty funny. And then Glenn is like, every year Aisha comes up with this last-minute vacation. We got to follow her. And Takala's like, yeah, she's very bossy. Then
Very
Kathy's
bossy.
like, yeah, Catie goes, and demanding.
And demanding.
Oh, it's hilarious. And Rod's like, yeah, so I'm here to talk Aisha out of marrying him. All right. So it's all set up. Whew, very, very interesting.
Yeah,
So,
do they practice voodoo here?
she's like, they practice voodoo in the U.S.
Yeah.
Rod's like, I think they got something into her food.
Uh-huh.
And she says, I might go eat some more of it then.
Yeah.
Good grief. Good grief.
I was impressed with Rod with this scene.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, he went. We didn't get to it yet, but how he went after Maxwell.
Okay.
Yeah.
He does it point by point. Yeah.
There's a point by point, even though he has an ulterior motive, I think, Rod.
Of course you do. Yeah. Okay. So let's jump to that because that's actually really the crux of it. I liked that Aisha. A few things that she did here was really interesting. One is, and this is really, really a good tip. Like if you're going to spill some important news to your family that they might not like, do it at the beach.
Do it at the beach.
Yeah. It chills everyone out. Go to the beach bar. Chills everyone out. No one can be angry at the beach.
No.
Except for Rod.
No. I don't think Rod was listening to the waves crashing.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then secondly, this is where she maybe goes wrong. She should have ordered drinks first.
Yep.
But she gives the news right up front. I called you all here because we're going to get married. She explains the situations. And I thought those sisters must have known what was happening because they came to Nigeria so quickly and everything.
Yeah.
But they looked freaking shocked.
Shocked.
Right?
Shocked.
And they
didn't
ask,
know what to
as
say.
they should, but wait, what if the marriage is still denied after all of this? And she's like, that's not going to happen. No way.
It's in God's hands. It's not going
Right.
to, of course.
So I'm going to be married.
They're all going to heaven, by the way.
Well, definitely. There you go. I'm not, you know what? I'm not getting into it.
Yeah, me either.
Oh my God. So he takes it topic by topic, Rod. The lawyer in me divides it up. First, he goes into the future kid situation in a Mallory Rashid kind of way, right?
Yep.
And then they go into the profession situation and then the scamming situation.
Yeah.
So, Dad starts it off. He's like, I need 2 boys and 2 girls.
4 pregnancies.
And Aisha's like, well, there's going to be 2 pregnancies and whatever comes, that's it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Rod's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You can't be thinking about babies. And can he even afford babies?
Yeah.
Okay. So then he asks, well, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
And he says, and Maxwell answers, I do car business. I resell cars. Aisha steps in and she says, she reframes it and calls it the wholesale auto broker business.
Yeah. Or he could be an electrician. That's what his father does.
Yes. It's
which Rod retorts, you can finish it.
Well, there's a whole lot of retort here, but basically he says, can you not speak for your husband, please?
Yes.
And then he turns to Maxwell and he says, Maxwell, do you understand what American women look for?
Yeah.
They want a husband who works hard.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That comes off real.
That's a big shot over the bow on that one.
What does that mean?
Well, it's like a big shot over the bow, meaning it's almost like a slap in the face. Take that statement. Tell me how you're going to respond to it.
It is that age. I don't know if it's age old, but it's this idea that, oh my gosh, you see this in with Marissa's friends a little bit too, as an undertone, not as direct as this, but this concept of Americans work hard. They have real professions. They make real money. But I like Maxwell's answer, which basically he uses like a metaphor to flip it on its head and explain actually what's happening here. He uses this like weird machine metaphor to say that like Americans have, I think what he's saying is Americans have resources to make money, right?
Yeah.
But actually folks like Rod and Americans probably couldn't work as hard as Nigerians under those conditions. And he says, you are just blessed. You're just blessed. Like, you're not working hard. You're just blessed. That was like a really good retort. And you could see he's angry. You could see it gets his ire and he's trying to maintain some composure. And it pisses off the whole family. What is interesting is that, you know, in the previous episodes, it was his family who had a lot to say about Aisha and all, you know, their laundry list of issues. The age, the bossiness, their concerns, essentially. And here, now we have the representation from her side and her people making the accusations. And, you know, of course, Blaze will come. Well, yeah, she can't just sit on this one. But yeah, I think, you know, he says, that's where that line comes out. Like, how much money do you have in your bank account?
Yeah.
And, you know, Maxwell says, like, there's a big difference between what I do for a living and what's in my bank account. Like, that's a dumb question.
Yeah.
Totally right.
It's a ballsy question to ask someone how much they have in their bank account. It is. So it goes to show you where Rod's head is at. He doesn't want this to happen for whatever reason. I mean, Maxwell says you don't ask a man that question. I don't think you ask anyone that question.
I think if you're getting married to someone, you can ask the question.
That's different.
I think if you're a god brother, I don't know what that means, or, you know, he's looking out for her in some way. But the best thing to do would be to get a lawyer, work out the prenup, and get married. Right? You know, do what you want to do. But if you want to protect assets, you can protect assets, future earnings, whatever you want to do. That's, you know,
because Aisha seems like
insurmountable.
No, because Aisha seems like she's not hurting for money.
I heard, you know, so I was in my travels to America recently. I was on a plane for 15 billion hours, and I did listen to some podcasts, other podcasts, and I did hear that, I can't remember who said it, which person said it, but that she is, I don't know if I told you this, but she is allegedly a pharmacist.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
And recently, as you know, with my mom, and she's doing a lot better now, thankfully. But you know, with all the medications and running to the pharmacy and in the hospital, everything, you know, I am thinking about pharmacists, making sure they're doing the right thing here. But yeah, that's what I heard. I was always very curious about what she did, because she did seem to have a profession based on her house and how she comports herself, some kind of profession outside of tongue talking and her godly interactions. So I thought that was quite fascinating.
It's fascinating, but I have a question.
Yeah.
When you're that deeply Christian and religious, you really don't believe in science, do you? You believe
I think everything is different. You know, so the hospital I go to in Malaysia is a Seventh-day Adventist hospital, actually. And they have a motto that is, God heals, we help.
Oh.
Okay.
I like that. Okay. Yeah.
There's all these pictures of Jesus hovering over like hospital beds and families, like this white Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a little, I don't know, it's a little unnerving, but I like that terminology. That motto.
I like that terminology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I personally see absolutely no contradiction, right, with science and religion. The Bible is not a science textbook. It is not a framework for how for science. It's a framework for morality through stories, in my mind.
Yeah.
It is not necessarily a history book or a science book or anything like that. So I don't see the contradiction. But you know what? I think even if there was a contradiction, I do think that Aisha would make it somehow make sense in her head. So it's all good.
Yeah. She would make sense of it. Yeah. Well, apparently they're getting married in a couple of days, correct? Isn't that what she said?
Yeah, they're getting married by the end of this trip. So
Oh, yeah.
it's going to happen.
Yeah, and then Rod said, we have a lot of robocalling, a lot of scammers from Africa, and the sister defended her family. Well, we're not part of this family is not part of that. And you're right, the family had a lot to say when Aisha first got there, but they were eerily quiet during this exchange.
Not Blaze.
Not Blaze with her fancy pocketbook on the table.
Oh, I didn't notice. I like that you noticed the fashion.
Yeah, it was black and white. It almost looked like a Chanel bag. I'm not sure. I would need Jen's eyes to see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, me either. No.
I do think that they say choosing a partner is like one of the most important decisions and even career or financial decisions that you're going to make in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that Rod is wrong because he's never met Maxwell.
No.
But, the delivery is odd.
It's odd. It's odd. I happen to think
I know.
Yeah, I know.
You think he loves her. But I think that he could also ask these type of questions and have this type of skepticism, even if he's not in love with her.
Yes. I'll give you that one.
She's worked hard. She's good in business. She does a lot for herself to make things happen. And she makes really good decisions. And I don't want to see her make a bad decision with this very important thing.
Which he told Rod. Rod was questioning things, and he said, well, Maxwell said, Aisha's very smart. So if she's making the right decision, it must be true.
Right.
It must be right.
And his reasoning is always so good. He's like, my name is Maxwell. And Maxwell
which means
that
greatness.
Yeah. So you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he says, "Oh, me and you, Rod, we're going to spend a long time together, and you'll find out that we're going to get along great."
That's a better answer. Yeah. We'll be buddies.
We'll be buddies.
But Rod's like, yeah, I'm watching him. You can't put on this charade forever. I will see you when you slip out of it.
No, absolutely not. No. Let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Do you see an underlying thing going on between all of these couples? I mean, besides sex. I mean, sex is an overlying thing.
What are you thinking?
I just think there's a myriad of emotions. I think there's a lot of fear involved. I think there's a lot of a little bit of immaturity going on. I have a lot, but I always like to hear your take because we have such different takes on things, which I think makes this program so interesting for the listener, Mom, and and
I think a lot of times I see for me I see the culture. I see that there's conflicts that are very cultural, and we can see that in this episode. It comes very much through Mallory and Rashid, and I think it comes very much through Aisha and Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
In Isham Maxwell, it has this other element of distrust. With Mallory's friends, they're not distrustful of Rashid. They're not like, hey, he's a terrorist. Like, apparently some people are like that, but not her core friends.
Right.
And with her core friends are really lovely. They are her family. I love her friends, right? Everyone wants friends like that. They're compassionate, but still tell it like it is to her. And that's lovely. With Aisha and Maxwell, what we see with the culture is the distrust. They're both distrust. Their family and core group is distrustful of the other.
Yeah, very.
And so I think that's a huge element here. There's also this element of folks just picking up their life, coming to the other country, and it's a shit show. It's just not what they expected. they all seem to feel that they have a limited amount of time to figure out if they should marry someone or not, when really they should have figured that out before applying for the visa.
Yeah.
And it's like they're using this as this limited amount of time, 3 months, to figure out if they're going to marry someone or not. And that always sets someone up for success. So what could go wrong?
Oh, what can go wrong? Yeah.
You know, and yeah, so there's a lot here. There's also, and we're going to see it coming up. I'll talk about Thomas and Paula, where this is really highlighted too, where there is a family and a history behind this that the other person doesn't see really until they arrive in America. And I can relate to that. I could say it's like you can be overseas and you can date someone for years. And usually, if you're living in the same city or same country as your parents and your family, you take that person home at some point in a time in a year or two, for Thanksgiving or some holiday, and they meet the family, or there's some interaction, and you see organically how that happens. But when you're abroad and then you bring the person in, it's like you have this whole relationship with them that your family hasn't seen yet. And so they might be skeptical. They're like, who is the stranger who has entered our life?
Yes.
And so we see that with all these couples as well. And we see how the families navigate through that. And that comes up here with Thomas and Paula, right? Because in this situation, we kind of learn here that the purpose of this trip was a fewfold, right? They want to, repair the relationship and make an apology for their previous visit. Okay. Even if that's not warranted, they still want to do it. We see it's coming from Paula, who is very emotionally mature and wanting to, she really wants this family to get along. So she wants to fix the problem. We see, they also wanted to have the invitation to the wedding. There were things that they wanted to do, right? And Thomas wanted her to understand his upbringing a little bit better, where he comes from. It's definitely not LA. It's a completely different, it's almost like another country, North Carolina from LA.
Oh,
and so, right, especially where he's from. And so you see the background, and she wants to fix it. We were talking earlier too, she's a fixer and she wants to fix it. And the dad was right in the last episode when he said, not in these words exactly, but, and not that he's right about everything, but what he said, something as though, Paula does want to fix it, but she doesn't know this family.
Right.
Like when you marry someone, you marry their family, but you marry their history, their past traumas.
Oh, yeah.
All of that is different. And that person is going to exist not in a silo or as an individual, but that person has a whole history. And it's clear also, making connections now, it's clear with Mallory, as though she maybe is choosing Rashid because of the great sex, he braids her hair, okay, fine. But his wonderful family, his very rich culture and his connection to it, the generations, right, that are in that household or wherever they're living, in a tent, in an apartment, in a house, with all those lovely, very close-knit family.
Yeah. And
but her trauma, right, from her childhood is still there. And
yes. And now I'd like to backtrack a little bit, because Mallory, remember when she was in Turkey, she was so moved by how close his family was.
Yeah.
So maybe that will be part of her healing journey.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Because just like what I wrote on that whiteboard in your mother's house, love always prevails.
Yes. Now, what's funny is you wrote that. I'm going to tell you, don't know this. You wrote that in permanent marker on the whiteboard.
I thought I did. I thought I picked up a Sharpie.
So it always prevails. It will always be on that whiteboard. Don't worry. I work in a school. I know how to get that off.
I'm sure.
I'm going to leave it on for now.
Just a little rubbing alcohol, right?
There is a trick to that trade.
Yeah.
What I like, actually, too, is as you asked me that question, I really wasn't sure of my answer. But as I was thinking about it and talking, through our discussions, I'm
Yeah.
actually coming to that newer understanding of what it really is about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's cool. So thank you, bro, for that.
Absolutely. And I loved listening.
So what's your take on because really I look at this segment for Thomas and Paula as just a wrapping up session for them before they leave. Like they, as Paula says, they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. Rini and Paula were planting seeds, always a metaphor. And,
Oh, yeah.
and then
Always.
Thomas was doing woodworking with his dad, and they were
Yeah.
having their, as you would say, the hard conversations.
Mhm.
They were mending fences in a very nice sort of Edward-esque way, using the tools they have to mend their fences, so to speak. And
I thought it
yeah,
was a
what's your-
nice moment, but
Yeah.
with Thomas and his dad in the
Yeah.
shed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a nice moment
Yeah.
because
It's a
you
nice
want to
moment.
see
Mhm. Go ahead.
you want to see mending fences with your son, and obviously the father is conflicted because the biological mother, and he's like, look, you'll always be there. I'll always be there for you. I always was there for you when you were having struggles or whatever. And Thomas agreed. And
Yeah, that validation was great.
the
Dad
validation,
really needed to hear that. Yeah, because
he
I think
did.
he was having some feelings. Yeah.
He was. The
Mhm.
father was having some feelings.
Dad said, 10 years from now, if you get quizzed on who was at your wedding, you're not going to
Yes.
remember.
It's a great point.
Since you've been married 300 times, what do you think?
Yeah. 301, thank you.
Oh, sorry, 301. Sorry, sis.
I will remember who's at this wedding.
Mm.
Maybe because it wasn't that long ago, but in 10 years, I don't know. I don't even know if I'll be on this earth anymore, but
Ooh, dark. But that's true. You might be in heaven.
I might be in heaven or the Golden Hall of Valhalla.
Yeah, well, what Thomas's response could be, Dad, I might not remember who was at the wedding, but I'm going to remember who wasn't.
Yes. That's a mic drop moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Paula, she is a fixer, but she's dealing with forces that are far larger than her.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She's still lovely.
But she does admit that she's not going to do the social media thing anymore with the biological mother.
But she still wants the picture of everyone together.
Oh, yeah. She wants a picture.
She's a great storyteller, too, because now we're going to watch for this.
Yeah. Yeah. She's actually a really interesting person in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's very kind. I think she's very family oriented, as we always see. Yeah. And she's motivated and a little annoyed that she has to curb her perfume at living with Thomas.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and she's a badass.
She is a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something else that she's doing that I appreciate about trying to get the families together. The forces are beyond her. I feel like it's a hopeless cause, but fine. My parents and my mom's going to live. I always know after my mom listens to our podcast because she texts me.
Yeah.
What you said about da-da-da-da, and she'll have a comment. So I know I'm going to get commentary on this. But when she got married to my dad, a lot of family members boycotted the wedding. There were different religions, and it was an issue back then. The first thing she did, like when she came back from her honeymoon, was make sure that she went to see her parents.
Yes.
As hard and awkward as that must have been to walk through the door, and be like, okay, I'm married now, but I still want this relationship with you, and making that important just says a lot about my mom. And because other people would have just been like, right, they didn't come, fuck that. Like, that relationship is.
Yes, and
whatever.
On the flip side,
I'm married now. Yeah.
On the flip side, I'm not dismissing what you're saying about your mother, because it's one of the things I respect so highly of your mother, because she's told me that story. And I remember the first time she told me that story, I was looking at her in awe and asking her, "You really went to your parents' home after that?" She goes, "I made it a point to do it." And in my case, my mother and her twin, Roman Catholic, they married 2 Jewish men, and it split the family apart.
Yeah.
So it was, we never repaired it. Not meaning me, because I wasn't born yet, but everyone went their own way. Some stayed in California. We came to Long Island, New York, and it was never salvaged. So what your mother did was courageous. Love prevails. It was her. I think it was her drive of love for her parents, and and she's brave
Yeah.
because it could have went sideways.
Yeah.
It could have went sideways, but she absolutely did the best thing for her and her new husband, and
And her future kids who grew up not even knowing there
yes,
was conflict there, or that there had
yes,
been conflict there because it had been repaired.
right.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it might be a very rare story about your mom, because my story I think is more common, where it breaks families apart.
Well, yeah, I mean, also with my parents, not to get into all of them, all of their relationship, but gosh, if we could have filmed that, that would have been amazing. But there were so many reasons for that to fail. They were so young, they were 19.
Oh, they were up against it. Absolutely.
They were like too
Right?
young to rent a car on their honeymoon.
I know.
It's just so much. But you know what? If you want to make it work, you make it work. It's so much more. It's like, it's not just love. It's just Aisha, because she so badly wants to make it work, makes it work.
Yeah.
It might work.
It might
That
work.
might be the most successful marriage we see.
You just stole Cappy's line.
Get out. Oh, yes, I did. Yes.
You did. You got to put in the work. Your mother has put in the work, and look at what she has now. Like she said last week when she wasn't feeling well and she was dealing with what she was dealing. Look at this village I have around me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And everyone came together, and she's on the mend.
She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Your mother is, I say it, and I'm repeating myself, she's the gold standard of a human being.
Yeah. And here we go back talking about mom. This morning I made them breakfast. I was like, I want you guys to have breakfast in bed. She's back from the hospital. Yeah. So I made them some pancakes, and they're eating them in bed. And my mom, it's like, oh, we've never done this, And then she just turns to my dad and says, we did something right. And I'm like, huh, yeah.
Yeah.
You did a lot right. You did a lot right. And that's a good place to end.
It's a great place to end. I do have a short Cappy's Corner. You asked me before. I'm going to get wound up again here, because I love talking about relationships. And what I mean by that is, you asked me, is there an undercurrent theme of all of these couples? And the undercurrent thing is, although there's K1 visas, there's spousal visas, there's perfumes that you have to deal with, there's Rosh and Mallory, there's so many different things, Debbie and Mido. But what is the absolute paramount, tantamount reason for all of these people to be together? There's 2 4-letter words: hope and love. And that's where I'll end it with you folks.
Aw. Until next week, my bro.
Thank you for all our listeners. We're on Instagram, Reality In Laws. Please check us out. Melissa and MD Cappy on the mic.
Ciao, my bro.
You're the best. Thank you, Melissa. See ya.
Just cowbells when he thinks he loves but you. That's cowbells, just cowbells when he says that he'll be true. And when he sighs, I love your eyes. You're such a sweet little thing. You're the first girl that I have ever kissed. Oh, listen, listen to the cowbells ring, those cowbells, never let them make you fall. promise you, when we're married, I'll support your mother, too. That is not only kind.